So Unrivaled won't be happy by this. Nafisa Collier, Alex, whatever Nafisa Collier's husband's surname is Basil, I think. Breanna Steward, all the investors, they're not going to be happy that their biggest investment, Sabrina Ionescu, has basically come out in a press conference and, if nothing else, kind of trashed, not necessarily trashed the league, but like basically just said she doesn't care when they're paying her about $1 million. So it says here, Sabrina Ionescu asserts fun as a first priority in Unrivaled. She's honest about her mindset. The opening weekend of Unrivaled, while the expectations that Unrivaled delivered, there were still several uncertainties because of novel rules the league set, considering how this league, new leagues at the centre of WNBA's offseason. There would be much skepticism about how hard Unrivaled's roster would be playing during these games. And I'm not going to lie, I think every team but the Phantom are playing hard. Like, there's going to be a video, like, I'm going to make a video in between this. There's going to be this video and there's another Sabrina situation that is a bit separately, but I need to look more into that I've just, like, in the last 10 minutes that I've heard about. But, like, I'm going to have to talk about that. But at the same time, like, all the other players and teams are playing hard. The New York Liberty and Phantom BC superstar Sabrina Ionescu spoke to media on January 20th. At one point, she delivered some thoughtful words about where her priorities lie when stepping onto the Unrivaled court. Obviously, it is the middle of our off-season. I think there's kind of a fine line in understanding you're here to get better and continue to work on your game, but also I can't be mentally locked in like I am for the W season. Here now, or I'll be burnt out by the time the W starts. Because I'm so competitive and take everything seriously. Obviously, in the game, you see that, but I think off the court, being able to just be around a lot of great players. For me, it's kind of finding a balance and understanding how fun it is to be able to play in a league like this when you're able to surround yourself with the best players, continue to work on your game, be better, but also kind of just being around one another. She literally said, it's in the middle of the off season, so if I'm mentally locked in, I burn out by the time W starts. Like, I'm sorry, the off season's 8 months. The off season is 8 months. Like, you can't lock in from January to March and then take a 2-month break. There is 2 months between the end of Unrivaled and the first WNBA game. Like, I'm sorry, even with the 2 months in Unrivaled, you're saying you can't lock in. It's still less basketball than if you played overseas. Or it's less basketball than if you were an NBA player. Like, you're playing less games total than you might in an entire season overseas. Like, it's, actually, no, you don't play that many. If you're an NBA player, you'd be playing 82 games. You're playing 44 in some Unrivaled games. In fairness, there are more games. But that's still a crazy thing to say. Basically be like, I'm trying to just here for fun. I'm not locked in. I'll be burnt out by the time the W starts. Like, obviously, like, look, if you're going straight from the W into this, but nobody gives college players grace when they literally go for March Madness and have a 2-week break. You have a 2-month break. And that's if you go all the way after a 3v3 tournament where your team stinks to go and get everything sorted for the WNBA season. You've got 2 months. If you can't unwind in 2 entire months, there's something wrong. And if you are Nafisa Collier and Breanna Stewart, you're probably being like, oh dear God, what have we done? What have we done? We obviously had all this money ready for Caitlin Clark and Caitlin wouldn't play, so we gave it to the next best player. But dear Lord, Sabrina Ionescu's barely even trying. She's barely, like, in fairness actually, like, there's a level difference between her and Satu. Like, if you look at that Phantom team, Tash Cloud's trying, definitely trying. Sabrina Ionescu's playing 50% speed. Satu's playing 25% speed. Katie Lou is trying as hard as she can. And then Brittany Griner's trying as hard as she can. She just can't keep up. But, like, this is not a good look. It's really not. It's really, really not. When your best player has just gone and basically just taken the bag. The highest paid player has just taken the bag. Meant to fix that stat line. For what she's getting paid, she doesn't need to be there. She isn't trying to play. Like, she's literally not even trying. Unrivaled a league for players to get better. And then a lot of people are like, oh, just let these enjoy things. We don't need rivalries. This is horrible PR. Sorry, like, for every single person saying, oh yeah, this is just for them to improve. Like, dude, if the players don't try, no one's gonna watch. If no one watches, the league doesn't exist. This is not a practice league. It's meant to be a competitive league. If this league is going to succeed, the players, at a bare minimum, have to try. They have to care. They're getting paid hundreds of thousands, if not in the millions, potentially with Sabrina Ionescu, she's being rumoured to be paid. The bare minimum for this league to succeed is for the players to try. I'm not even saying, oh, they have to go out there and like dominate. And, you know, sometimes players have good games, sometimes players have bad games. That's fine. But the bare minimum is that the players try. And that's not been a good sign. It's not been a good sign at all with Sabrina right here. It really hasn't. So, yeah, honestly, I would be very, very concerned if I was one of those Unrivaled investors when effectively your money, like a lot of your money is going towards a player that is only there, that it sounds like she's only there to do three things. Collect the bag, hang out with other players, and then use their facilities to work out. Literally, that's it. And if it's for all the idiots in the quote tweets that are like, oh, let these players have fun, Unrivaled is just about getting better. No, it's not. If Unrivaled was just about getting better, then they wouldn't have a $100 million TV deal. Simple as that. They wouldn't have a $100 million TV deal with Unrivaled. Heck, they have a bigger TV deal than the freaking WNBA. Like, madness. Absolute madness. Or is it a bigger TV deal? I think maybe it's 60 million. Either way, it's very close with it's what the WNBA's was maybe in the previous CBA. But they have a huge TV deal, and it's not a league just for the players to have fun and practice. No, it's a damn basketball league. And if the players don't care, if there are no rivalries, if there's no reason to watch, this league will not exist in 3 years. Like, it could get to the stage, if no players want to take this seriously, it could get to the stage where it does not exist within that TV deal, where they just cut their losses and pull the whole thing. It is a bare minimum that the players care. And that was a horrible, horrible look from Sabrina Ionescu to basically just say that she doesn't. So, yeah, that's not ideal if you are Unrivaled. It's not ideal if you're one of the investors. It's not ideal if you're one of the players. Not ideal if you're one of the players because everyone has equity. And look, I'm not saying Sabrina hasn't even been the worst. She's been by far the best player on her team. Her team has just been embarrassingly bad. And that's actually going to be the next video on this channel, talking about how bad that team is. So anyway, yeah, it's just not an ideal situation at all for anyone. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.